East Lace, EastCrown, Eastbrook, East Lawn. I don't know what's the last one. Would like to stay here. HDBs that will be hitting MOP this year. Find out which one is the best project for you. Hi everyone, I'm Eliani and welcome back to another episode of 99 Perspectives. So for today's episode, we'll be discussing several BTOs that will be hitting MOP this year in 2022. And just by looking at the list right now, there are really interesting ones that already caught my attention. But before we start, we need a market expert, right? So today we have Virginia. Okay, Virginia, maybe before we start, you want to introduce yourself to our viewers?
Hi, I'm Virginia. So I mainly write articles on property guides, analysis, and I cover quite a bit on HDB BTO flats projects and resale projects.
Oh, okay. So if you guys read our blog, Virginia is probably one of the writers there. So say hello, give your support, give your love. Okay, perhaps before we start, let's set the context first before we move on to the list of projects that we're going to discuss later. So what exactly is MOP and why is it beneficial to buy a newly MOP'd flat versus older flats?
Okay, so MOP actually stands for minimum occupation period. So what this means is that when you buy a new flat or resale flat, you have to stay there for 5 years. And then during this 5 years MOP period, you cannot sell the flat, you cannot rent out the whole unit. You can rent the room, but not the whole unit. And then you also cannot buy a private property. The thing is with MOP flats, right? So it's still relatively new, around 94 years of lease. Older resale flats, shorter lease, and then they're also like the maintenance, they're a bit old, so maintenance is not as good anymore, so you need to spend a bit more on renovation.
Yep, correct. Yeah. Okay, so let's look at a seller's perspective. What could possibly be a good reason as to why you should sell your property when it hits the MOP mark?
So one thing is that with newly MOP flats, so they have a longer lease, so you can sell it at a higher price compared to when if you sell it a bit later, cost a bit later, then there's already the lease decay start coming in, so you may not be able to sell it at a higher price. And then another thing is that if you want to upgrade to a private property, to a condo, you can upgrade faster as well.
Nice, more moolah.
Yeah,
Alright, since we've covered a lot of the pros, right, the benefits, is there like a possible con to MOP flats?
So this one is more of for buyers. So one thing about MOP flats is that because they come with a longer lease, so they are most probably going to be more expensive compared to the other resale flats, the older ones. At the same time, these are BTO flats, so BTO flats tend to actually be smaller than older resale flats, especially like the ones built in the 90s. So they are known to be like a little bit bigger.
So for the moment you guys have been waiting for, let's go down the list of developments that we find really interesting in terms of amenities, connectivity. We will then be categorizing these HDBs based on the different regions in Singapore. So it really depends on your living preference because some people would die want to live in the east, or in the west. So I think it's easier if you narrow it down this way. So let's touch on the north side first. The first one that really stands out to me is Khatib Court. So there are 2 different types of units. There's the studio apartments and 3 rooms. So what's interesting is that this Khatib Court is only 2 minutes away from Khatib MRT. It's basically having MRT connectivity right outside your doorstep, right? And it's really convenient if you want to do any grocery shopping because I think there's 3 supermarkets around. There's Giant, Sheng Siong, FairPrice. So you have the luxury of choosing which supermarket you prefer lah. For parents with kids, there are 2 schools nearby. I think it's just 1 block away. There's Payoh Primary School and Naval Base Secondary. So for parents who want to enroll their children for the Primary 1 registration, I think the chances of you getting in would be higher as well because of the close proximity. recreational facilities which we covered in our previous Yishun BTO video. There's the Orto, which is 5 minutes away by car, and the Home Team NS Khatib, which is an 11 minutes walk. So you can go Adventure HQ. Have you been? No? There's a lot of amenities there that you can look forward to. So Khatib Court is one of my favorites.
Another project in the north that stands out to me the most is EastCrown. So Canberra actually has like 5 projects that are going to MOP this year.
Yeah, I think there's like East Lace, EastCrown, East Brook, East Lawn. I don't know what's the last one, but inside the text here.
Yeah, all start with East.
Inside the text here. I can't remember also.
yeah. So, but why this one stands out to me the most is because like it's quite near the Canberra MRT and Canberra Plaza, and also offers 5-room flats. So it's ideal for like families who are looking for bigger space. And on top of that, Canberra is around 3 stops to Woodlands MRT. So Woodlands is shaping up to be a business hub in the form of Woodlands Regional Centre, where you can expect like more commercial hubs, industrial spaces, as well as high-tech farm.
Basically, this area is going to rejuvenate even more after the development of Woodlands Regional Centre, right?
For potential landlords, this is a good opportunity to rent out your units after the MOP.
Okay, so on to my favourite region in Singapore, which is the Northeast. So my YouTube team and I actually went exploring around Punggol, and one project actually caught my attention, and it's Matilda Court. We also covered this in our previous YouTube video, so you can click the link here if you want to watch in depth. But just a brief introduction about this development. It is a big project with 1,162 units. So your chances of actually securing a unit here would be higher because like the probability of homeowners wanting to sell their units would be higher as well. So it is a self-sustainable development, as you guys would already know. There's also My World Preschool. For parents with little kids, this is really convenient because you don't have to walk outside of the development to actually send your kids to school. There's the
Digital District.
Yeah, Punggol Digital District. Thank you, Virginia. This is why you are here. There's also the Punggol Town Hub and the Regional Sports Centre, which will be beside the SAFRA. So these are 2 developments that you guys can look out for. There's another interesting project that we would love to highlight here, which is Fernvale Riverwalk. You are 3 minutes walk away to Layar LRT from this project, which is also 3 LRT stops to Sengkang MRT.
From Sengkang MRT, it's just 4 stops to Serangoon, where you can take the Circle Line.
Yeah. And also considering that it's 3 stops away to Sengkang MRT, right? There's the Campus One and Sengkang Square. Yeah, so that's really convenient.
Fernvale Riverwalk is just around like 6 minutes walk to Seletar Mall. I feel like it's a bit of an enclave. There's a good range of shops and eateries, and then there's also Sheng Siong. This project is also located along Punggol Reservoir. So like if you manage to get a unit like beside the river, you can get a good view as well. Yeah. The one that stands out to me is Hougang Meadow. It's just around like 10 minutes walk to Hougang MRT, the interchange and Hougang Mall. So that's a good thing. And then there's also the Cross Island Line that's opening in 2030. Yeah, that is going to run through the Hougang MRT as well. There's a few primary schools within 1 km of Hougang Meadow, so it's good for those with school-going children. Hougang is just around 4 stops to the future Punggol Coast MRT, which is opening with the Punggol Digital District, as you mentioned earlier. This Punggol Digital District will house like growth industries such as cybersecurity and digital tech. So we expect to have more jobs there, and then with more jobs, you have
rental opportunities,
potential tenants, more rental opportunities. Yeah.
Okay, so for the project that we are most excited for, I think we both agree that it is one of our favorites. It is the Telok Blangah Parcview. The best part is it's located right next to Telok Blangah Hill Park. So this is where you can access the Mount Faber and Hot Park via the southern regions.
Yeah, and then it's also like quite near Vivo City, it's just around 7 minutes drive. Another alternative, there's also the Boat Heights Shopping Centre, which is around 6 minutes drive.
There's also the Greater Southern Waterfront, which is at the old former Keppel Club, is it?
So the Greater Southern Waterfront extends along the southern coast in Singapore. So the former Keppel Club is just one part of it. The government just announced that they're going to build like 6,000 BTO flats there. Yeah, so this one that they are looking out for. So, but we also think that this might be PLH flats. So basically means prime location public housing. So what this means is that these flats, they come with more restrictions like 10-year MOP. So that means you have to
When I'm hearing
stay
this,
there for
I'm
10
just
years.
like, 10 years?
Yes, 10 years living there. So like even, let's say
But
your
it's not
neighbor.
too shabby, you know. You have Vivo City, you
True,
have Mount
true.
Faber. I would love to stay here.
Yeah, so if you don't want that, if you think it's just too long, so this Telok Blangah Parkview is a good alternative. Buy it now and then there's no waiting time also.
Yeah.
We expect the appreciation value will be higher when the whole area is more developed as well.
Okay, Virginia, let's travel to the west part of Singapore. Let's talk a little bit more about Bukit Gombak Vista. So this is quite interesting. It is an elderly-friendly development and there are facilities to cater to this older population. Bukit Gombak Vista is a 27-storey residential block. It's a single block by itself and there's a multi-storey car park just right next to it. There's a neighborhood center just right outside. So that is probably one of the biggest USP here. Like this neighborhood center is pretty huge as well. And I think one last thing that I would like to highlight here is that it's only 3 minutes to Bukit Gombak MRT. So on top of the neighborhood center, you also have the MRT connectivity. So everything you need is all in one place.
For me, another project in the west that stands out to me is Yun Kwang Court. So this project is actually very near the Jurong Lake Gardens. So like if you get one of the higher floors at the east side, so you can actually get a view of the Jurong Lake Gardens. If you are thinking of renting out your units or your rooms, this is another area to look out for because it's also near the Jurong Lake District, which is going to be like the second CBD in Singapore, where you can expect more office,
Commercial spaces.
yeah, commercial spaces to be based here. So like there's potentially going to be more tenants here.
Yep. But the downside is it's quite far, right, from the Lakeside MRT.
Yeah, that's the downside. Like it's around 24 minutes walk. Yeah, so yeah, you don't want to walk there.
You're gonna walk 24 minutes.
Yes.
Just take a bus, guys. Okay, just take a bus. I think it's 13 minutes bus,
Yeah,
right?
around
Yeah,
there.
roughly around
Yeah.
there.
Oh, finally the central area, my favorite.
Your
region,
favorite
yes.
because you stay here, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So what is your favorite project in the central region?
Oh, okay. So one of it is Payoh Crest. So this project is just like around 7 minutes walk, like from Redel MRT and Telok MRT. The thing is that Payoh is a mature estate, so there's actually not a lot of new BTO flats here. So this is one of the new ones that you should look out for if you are thinking of staying at Payoh. On top of that, this Payoh Crest, it's also like around 5 minutes walk to Payoh West Food Center and Market. Yeah. So like if you're feeling lazy, you can just walk.
Feeling
from
lazy?
there, yes. Feeling lazy to cook, you can just walk there to buy your food.
You are right.
Yes.
You are right.
You can just walk there.
Lazy.
Tapao,
Lazy.
yes.
Are you team lazy also?
Yes.
I love the local food. Okay, so on to the next project, which is Ghim Edge. It's more or less the same amenities as what we covered in the Queenstown May BTO video, so you guys can check it out. There's 3 types of units here. There's studio apartments, there's 3-room and 4-room types. It's also 11 minutes walk from Dover MRT and 13 minutes walk from Buona Vista. So you are sort of like right smack in the middle. There's also 2 supermarkets within the vicinity, probably around less than 5 minutes walk. So what do you think, Virginia? Do you think that this Ghim Edge is quite a good project?
Yeah, I think so. Quite in a central location in Queenstown. Also because like there's not a lot of projects in this area as well. So this is a good one if you want to wait for the BTO. Yeah.
Yep. I think the Queenstown May BTO, right? It's quite near.
There's around the area as well. Yeah.
In fact, you can even access via the PCN, the Ulu Pandan Park Connector, to get to the Ghim Road Market and Food Centre, which is just opposite the Queenstown BTO plot. And especially if you work in the Queenstown or Buona Vista area, I think you can consider this project. It's so near. If you're a parent and you want to enroll your children to one of the most sought after primary schools, then you can actually consider Kebun Baru Court.
So within 1 km of this project are 2 primary schools, Aitung School and CHIJ St. Nicholas Girls School. So you're a parent looking to enroll your kids in one of these schools, you might want to buy a flat here, get a higher chance of securing a place for your kids.
And Kebun Baru Court is also one of the few projects that offer newer 5-room flats, right? Especially in a central mature estate. And there's also another one.
Another one is the Ghee Parcview. In terms of stack placement, if you are looking for an unblocked view, you can also get a east-facing unit that's overlooking the Teck neighborhood park. So this one, what stands out to me is that this project is actually like quite near within walking distance to like a few hawker centres. In fact, Chongbun Market and Hawker Centre is just right across the projects. Yeah, and then if you feel like splurging a bit more on food, there's also Serangoon Gardens, just around 15 minutes walk.
There's RK Eating House, if you guys didn't know that. So that's all for today, guys. Hope whatever we discussed earlier will help you in your buying journey. So thank you so much, Virginia, for being here. It has been very, very pleasant to have you.
Thank you so much for having me here as well. If you want to find out more, do check out our blog 99.co Insider.
And for those of you who stayed till the end, we really, really appreciate it. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and we'll see you on our next episode. Bye!